Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
And where does our tax money go? Do we have any, what do we have? If you can't even call, oh, I've got a squatter and they just came here. Oh no, that's a civil. You get robbed again. Oh, there's nothing we can do. Whatever, go online. They don't do anything. Although I did get a gun back that was stolen back in 2000, which was absolutely surprising. But I'll shut up.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right, we'll move on to consent calendar. All matters listed on our consent calendar are considered to be routine and can be enacted in one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items prior to the time the council votes on the motion unless members of the city council request specific items to be discussed or removed from the consent calendar for individual action. Do we have any comments from the public on consent calendar items 4 and 5? Seeing none, we'll move back to the council for some action.
Through the mayor.
Yes, sir.
Move that we approve the consent calendar, including items 4 and 5.
Second.
I have a first and second to approve consent calendar items 4 and 5. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Move on to business items. We have number 6.
Through the mayor.
Yes, sir.
I need to recuse myself from number 6 due to a property challenge.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll see you in a minute. Number 6 is Richland Waterline Extension Project, the contract award presented by Ben Moody. Okay.
Almost. Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. My name is Nick Menezes. I'm an associate civil engineer with the city's Public Works Department. And tonight I'll be discussing the Richland Waterline Extension Project Contract Award. So this slide here shows a general location of the project limits. Generally, Richland Road to Camino Cortez will be installing a water main as well as a portion of Little John, Camino Cortez, and some work in Cortez Court. So I'll start with some background on this particular project. The city's maintenance and engineering divisions maintain a priority list of water mains requiring major maintenance or full replacement. That list is prioritized by age, frequency of maintenance callouts. So how often the maintenance team goes out to repair these projects, to repair these water mains. Access. Are these water mains in back lots, or are they fronting the properties on a road? This is a picture here of Richland residents where the back lot, the water mains running through the back lot here. And you can see a tree and a shed right over the top, making it very difficult for maintenance crews to go in there and maintain and repair this line as required. Pipeline material and water master plan risk ratings. So the water master plan assigns a numerical value from 1 to 5, 1 being low risk, 5 being high risk to all the water mains in the city. The metrics for those values include the items I've just listed above, but also likelihood of failure and consequence of failure, and fire flow capacity deficiencies. All the water mains in the Richland vicinity are high priority based on the high risk ratings and metrics I've just listed above. So in order to address the issues in the previous slide, this project proposes to extend a 10-inch water main approximately 900 feet on Richland Road, extend a 6-inch water main 942 feet approximately on Little John, and install 560 feet of 6-inch water main Camino Cortez and Cortez Court. By doing so, we'll be able to abandon this segment here where all these people fronting Richland and Camino Cortez are connected. We'll be able to reconnect those services to the new water mains fronting those properties on Richland Road and Camino Cortez. We'll provide new service stubs for the individuals for the properties on Richland, the south side of Richland here, for future potential connections. And then we'll also install new hydrants on Little John, Richland Road, and Camino Cortez. So upon council authorization to bid this project, the project was advertised for bids from May 16th through June 10th of this year. The city received 9 bids, which is a really good number. The bid tabulations below, we have Newland Entities with their low bid at $990,000, all the way to JPB Design's high of $2.4 million. The engineer's estimate is nestled somewhere here in the middle at $1.418 million. Within 5 days of bid opening, Newland Entities, the low bid, notified the city requesting to be relieved of its bid. Public Contract Code Section 5103 permits a bidder to withdraw their bid, but they need to demonstrate and provide the following. The mistake indeed was made, that the bidder gave notice within 5 days, that the mistake made the bid materially different than what the bidder intended, and that the error in the bid was clerical, inadvertent, and not due to an error in judgment. Staff and the city attorney reviewed the request. The request included an explanation and documentation characterizing the error as inadvertent and clerical in nature. So therefore, staff believes that Newland entities demonstrated a good faith effort to comply with Section 5103, and therefore recommends that Newland Entities bid withdrawal request be granted. Assuming the bid withdrawal request is accepted, the city has 2 options. We can reject all bids and rebid the project or award to the next low bidder. Staff recommends awarding to the next low bidder for the following reasons listed here. Rebidding the project may result in higher bids due to bid numbers entering the public record, material price increases due to inflationary pressures, and ongoing supply chain disruptions. Rebidding the project may also jeopardize favorable construction conditions as we enter the fall and winter, delaying the project and potentially risking further deterioration of the water mains in the area. Lastly, delays may risk obtaining few bidders as a result of other competing projects. Additionally, the next low bid is under the engineer's estimate. The next low bidder is responsible and responsive. Newland entities complied with Section 5103, and we can avoid potential legal issues by awarding to the next low bidder. Given that the bid withdrawal request is approved and the second low bidder is awarded, below are the estimated construction costs. So the construction contract will be a 1.3, contingency 15% at approximately $197,000. City will provide CM and inspection on the project at about estimated about $19,000 for a total of $1.53 million. Staff would like to maintain that 15% contingency. The project, most of the project will take place in people's front yards and backyards and reconnecting to their homes. And so that presents opportunity for unforeseen conditions, which we want to stay ahead of. Funding for this project will come from two water fund accounts, CIP account 1092 and CIP account 1093. At a 1092, we're requesting approximately $700,000, 830 out of 1093 for a total of 1.53. And with all that said, staff recommends a resolution adopting the following actions presented in item A and B below. Are there any questions?
Any comment from the public on this item? All right. Any questions from council? Good. We're good. All right.
Thank you.
Go ahead and go for a motion.
Through the mayor,
Yes, sir.
move to accept the adopted resolution, taking the following actions of A and B. Do I need to read all the?
No.
I'm sorry but that was to accept the recommendations A and B. Was that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Second.
Second, first and second to approve A and B. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Nothing. We're good. All right. Lucas can go grab Mr. Kirchner. Item number 7 is consideration of inclusion of a delinquent charges and penalties for water and wastewater services on the secured tax roll. Welcome, Spencer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. I want to thank, first off, Samantha Benzel, Customer Service Manager, for her service to the ratepayers throughout the year. Samantha will help with any of the more technical questions that you may be having. Samantha and her team worked very hard to help the ratepayers stay off this list. That's something I do want you to know. Our customer service staff wear many hats day to day. One of them is watching over the utility funds revenues on behalf of the ratepayers. Customer service sometimes comes in the form of urging and helping ratepayers manage delinquencies, using a variety of tools to notify, educate, and ease the burden of paying. An impression can arise that the city is the only stakeholder on a delinquent account, but in reality, each ratepayer is responsible for their connection and use, and every payment not collected becomes the burden of the other 19,111 ratepayers, give or take. Samantha's staff is the most successful revenue recovery outfit we've ever had, and that includes companies that we used to use in the old days. Her staff is diligent about collecting final bills and keeping the entire system in mind when considering fairness. This is a combination of both tenant and owner-held accounts. Our municipal code states that property owners are ultimately responsible for the balances, regardless of agreements between tenant and owner. Outside of normal billing activities, which allow for owners to receive a copy of a tenant's bill monthly, owners were notified of balances prior to this hearing. Notices were mailed to the owners on June 13th. The notices were printed in English, Spanish, and Punjabi. These are the other programs in California to assist with delinquencies. LEWAP, or the Low Income Housing Water Assistance Program, funding has been distributed annually through 2024 through Health and Human Services Office of Community Services as grants to United States territories, tribes, and tribal organizations. The grants assist eligible low-income households by providing funds to owners or operators of public water systems or treatment works to reduce arrearages of and rates charged to such households for such services. Since the notices to the owners were mailed on June 13th, 6 accounts were paid in full. And staff's recommendation is to adopt a resolution to include delinquent accounts on the secured tax roll. Are there any questions?
Doesn't appear to be from up here. We do have a public hearing scheduled. We'll go ahead and open that. Public hearing for consideration of inclusion of delinquent charges and penalties for water and wastewater services on the secured tax roll is now open. If there are any members of the public who would like to address the council on this issue, please provide your statement via public comment and state your name and address for the record. Do we have any comments from the public? Come on up.
Hi, I just had one question. You always hear about low income, but what about the people who have lost their jobs or those that are on fixed incomes and can't afford, when they raised up the stuff, I'm thinking of pillage, gouge, and extort, or my bills have gone up. This last month was $412. And I live in a tiny apartment, but I keep the air conditioner on because of the heat. Anyway, that being said, what do you do for people that are middle income that have lost their revenue and don't qualify for any programs? Do you have something for those people?
We know anything off the top of your head for that? Or is that something that requires some research, Spencer?
So actually there was a decision many years ago called Bighorn. And Bighorn decision in the Mrs. Langley might be able to correct me, I think it was in the state courts, said that we are not allowed to provide discounts to certain populations. So the only services that might be available would be through state or federal agencies, and LEWOP is the only one that I can think of that might apply.
Okay, so you have nothing for people that were just fine before, but due to circumstances and they can't afford their water bill or their sewage bill or something, so they're just out of luck?
He gave you the option that's available that we are able to
Federal,
provide.
That doesn't.
Does the city pay someone's water bill? No.
No, I said give them some kind of something if they have a temporary circumstances. Is there any relief for the normal citizens, the middle class? That's all I wanted to know.
Nothing where.
Mr. Mayor, the Bighorn decision actually made such an action illegal.
Thank you for repeating that. So there you go. And just remind everybody, this is comment, because the question can go back and forth if we start doing question and answer. And if you start asking questions, we want to be able to give you a well thought out and, if necessary, researched answer. If we don't know what's coming, we don't have the ability to do that for you. So there's other ways we can get questions answered, but right now we're here for a comment.
Liz Cervantes, 862 Country Lane, Yuba City, 95991. I have a well, but I do have rental property in the city of Yuba City, and the bills are going up, up, up. I know that Recology, I include water, sewer, and garbage in my rents, because if you don't and they don't pay, you get a lien. Not pleasant. So this is not a practice of the city. You're voting on this tonight. Before now, there hasn't been for water and garbage or sewer.
Is there a comment, not a question?
I would just like to comment that we pay too much.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right. We will go ahead and close the comment period. And bring it back to council for action.
Through the mayor, I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution for the inclusion of delinquency charges and penalties for water and wastewater services on the secure tax roll in the same manner as the general taxes, and directing that a lien be placed on the subject properties.
Through the mayor, and just clarification, council member, that would include the ability of staff to withdraw any, not file a lien on any properties that have been fully paid up.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney.
Second.
First and second to approve the action. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And oppose. Passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Move on to number 8, consideration of inclusion of code enforcement citation fines on secured tax roll. Welcome, Doug Libby.
Mayor, Council, good evening. So for this item, the purpose of it is to recover unpaid code enforcement citation fines by placing them on the secure tax roll in the same manner as the general taxes, and directing that a lien also be placed on the properties. So as a little background, it was back in 2020 where the City Council adopted Ordinance 010-20, which updated our public nuisance ordinance. And then over the 2022 and 23, the city established an administrative hearing officer to hear individual cases, provide administrative review on an as-needed basis. So first and foremost, code enforcement's goal is to bring a property into compliance with the municipal code requirements. They try to work with people and work out time schedules in order to see that corrections be made. But if a case does remain unresolved and progress is not being made, then citations are issued as a mechanism to bring a property into compliance. Now, historically, the city has not collected a lot of fines because the collection process has not been in place. So going through this process leading up to tonight was us establishing that. And the city typically has collected less than $1,500 per year in fines, and I would say that most of those years it could be less than $1,000. So this is the first of what we, I think, hope would be an annual process to collect these unpaid citations. funds offset a portion of the cost of the code enforcement program on our city's general fund. So for this item, it involves 29 properties across the city, 71 citations, and $35,600 in proposed costs. And what we mean by proposed costs is that staff did a review and in some circumstances limited the fines to be collected to avoid situations where costs were just too large and unlikely to be paid. So total costs proposed to be collected were capped to a maximum of approximately $5,000. That was a department decision. So just to give you an idea, this is one of the cases that is included in tonight's proposed resolution. Just want to give you a flavor. We did provide slides for each one of the cases. So we would be able to, if anyone brings it up under public comment, we could bring up a slide.
Recording in progress.
Prepare the 10 notices and 8 citations. So there's just a lot of effort just on one particular case, and this is just an example. So for public outreach, when a citation is issued, it gives the citizen an opportunity to appeal that citation within a specific time frame, and we provided some sample documents in your staff report packet. None of the cases that are before you tonight took advantage of that. In addition, we sent out invoices in December of 2023 and March of this year. At the March time when we sent the invoices, we also let people know that, you know, if these go unpaid, then we're going to be taking these forward to the city council for consideration. And then finally, a 15-day notice was issued on June 28th, advising them of tonight's meeting. So the recommended action is to conduct a public hearing and adopt a resolution of the City Council for the inclusion of unpaid code enforcement citation fines on the tax roll in the same manner as the general taxes, and directing that a lien also be placed on the properties. Now, I would mention, just a reminder, I think, Mayor, you brought this up, that there was an updated resolution provided at the beginning of the meeting. The reason for that is we actually, since your staff report went out, we had 2 cases which actually they paid the fines. And so we updated the resolution to reflect that. So they're not included. And also wanted to note that if you take action tonight and someone were to come in and pay the fine, we would then correct the resolution to make sure that's not put on their property. So with that, that would conclude my comments. And like I said, we do have slides for each case if you wanted to go into the uncut weeds.
Literally. No, I think we're good. That's very thorough and been more than fair. I'll go ahead and open the public hearing. Public hearing for consideration of inclusion of delinquent charges and penalties for water and wastewater services. To my, are we on number 8 right now? Am I reading the wrong one? Public hearing for, okay, I was reading number 7. Public hearing for consideration of inclusion of code enforcement citation fines on secured tax rolls now open. If there are any members of the public who would like to address the council on this issue, please provide your statement via public comment and state your name and address for the record. Do we have any public comment on this item? Hearing no further comment, I'm closing the public hearing and bringing back the matter to council, please.
Through the mayor,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt any administrative resolution calling for the placement of a general tax, excuse me, wrong one.
Did the same thing.
Let's try that again. My apologies. I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution for the inclusion of a unpaid code enforcement citation fines on the secured tax roll in the same manner as the general taxes, and directing that a lien also be placed on the subject properties.
Councilmember Kirchner, would that also include the authorization to staff to remove anything that is already paid before the lien gets filed?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Second.
First and second to approve the action item on number 8. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you very much, Doug. Now I'll read the right one here. We are on number 9. Consideration of the November 2024 ballot measure to authorize 1 cent sales tax. Hello, City Manager.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So the Yuba City's current sales tax rate is 7.25%, which is the state minimum. Of that, Yuba City receives 1% that goes towards the general fund, which equates to approximately $18 million annually. If you look at neighboring jurisdictions to Yuba City, they currently have tax measures in place in which Yuba County receives their tax rates 8.25%, Marysville is 8.25%, Chico is 8.25%, and Calusa is 8.75%. So starting in December of 2022, Council designated a revenue ad hoc comprised of Councilmember Boomgarden and Mayor Harris. And the purpose of that ad hoc was to evaluate city priorities and then also the potential for a revenue measure. Through that process, working with a citizens group, they identified roads because we have a backlog of approximately $150 million worth of maintenance, fire operations to maintain critical staffing levels and response times, then also replace fire station number 1, and then police operations to add dedicated homeless response personnel, create a citywide clean team, and then also take over law enforcement services for the Happy Park, Walton area located south of Franklin and west of Highway 99, in which the sheriff currently provides services. With that as well, Council expressed a strong desire to support Sutter County, particularly the District Attorney's Office, the Sheriff's Department, jail, and then homeless response efforts. And as part of the ad hoc process, they worked with the county designated ad hoc to work out tentative terms for a tax sharing agreement in which the city would receive 67% if the measure were approved, and the county would receive 33%. To go towards District Attorney's Office, Sheriff, roads, things that benefit Yuba City residents, because Yuba City residents are Sutter County residents too. So December of 2023, the City Council and the Board of Supervisors had a joint meeting in which the Revenue Ad Hoc Committee recommendations were identified in terms of a general 1% sales tax led by Yuba City within city limits. It's a general sales tax, but the priority could be things such as roads and public safety, revenue share with Sutter County, include a citizens oversight committee. And so at a previous meeting, the City Council adopted a resolution that identified the scope of work, the term, how people would qualify for that citizens oversight committee. No competing overlapping initiatives from Sutter County, and then in effect until ended by voters. And so here before you tonight is the proposed ballot language. And I'm not going to read it, but basically it's identifying it is a general sales tax, which requires a 50% plus 1 approval. And it could go towards things such as road repairs, increasing police and fire protection, protecting 911 emergency response times, addressing homelessness, and funding other general services and essential activity. That 1% general sales tax is estimated to will generate $17.5 million. And again, the tax sharing agreement with Sutter County will
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com. Pick your time to attend the Marysville Peach Festival. It's happening Friday, July 19th and Saturday, July 20th in downtown Marysville. You'll find your old favorites like cobbler and pies, peaches and cream, fresh peaches locally grown, and fruit to take home and eat. Fun for kids and big kids. A City of Marysville event kept moving by Recology, Waste Zero, Yuba County, Say Yes to Yuba, and by Sutter Health, Exceptional Care Never Stops. The 24th Marysville Peach Festival, happening Friday, July 19th and Saturday, July 20th in downtown Marysville, a City of Marysville event.
Hi, I'm Neil Goforth of Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties. Caring for elders, or even yourself, has challenges. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties can help you address today's issues and plan for tomorrow with in-home and specialized care for you or your family members. Call us at 530-749-8800. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties.